Dota 2 is incredibly fun, but it has one of the steepest learning curves in all of video games. Though the game itself isn't that mechanically difficult, it can take hundreds of hours to fully wrap your head around everything that the game has to offer. The trouble is that even though there's so much to learn in Dota 2, the game itself doesn't really give you that much help. And the community? Well, they're not going to be particularly great to work with either. But we here at Win.gg are here to give you some quick pointers to help you on the early steps of your Dota 2 journey. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to keep up with all of our esports content. So what is Dota 2? Well, at its core, it's a tower defense game with real-time strategy elements. The map is shaped like a square, with 3 lanes that see AI-controlled units spawn and charge to the enemy base. There are 2 teams with 5 players each, and the game is determined by who destroys the enemy base. You can't just immediately run into the enemy base and go for the win though. Each lane has 2 outer towers that need to be destroyed before you can actually move up to high ground. And from there, you have to destroy 3 more towers before you can actually start attacking the enemy Ancient. Dota 2 is actually based on a mod for Warcraft 3 called Defense of the Ancients, and it holds on to many of the core gameplay elements of that Blizzard classic. The game has the general control scheme of any other RTS, with movement mapped to your mouse and right-click button, and all your hotkeys on your keyboard. Each player controls one of over 100 different heroes, which has its own unique set of skills. Each Dota 2 hero is good at something, whether it's killing enemies, knocking down towers, or helping allies do one or the other. Players are tasked with building up their hero and making them as strong as possible in order to destroy the enemy base. So how do you build up your hero? Well, there are 2 ways to go about it, the first being leveling up, and the second being buying items. Players level up in the same way they do in any other RPG. If they're in the general area when a kill is made of an enemy hero or unit, they gain experience points, and after a certain number of experience points they level up, and when they level up they gain an ability point that they can use to make their skills stronger. Generally speaking, every hero has 3 regular abilities that can be leveled up a total of 4 times, and then a stronger ultimate ability that can be leveled up 3 times. Players can actually level up their abilities however they feel, but generally speaking there's a best way to go about it for each hero. The other way to strengthen your hero is to get items, and the way you usually get items is to buy them with gold. Players get gold passively, but they can also get more by killing units on the map. That gold can then be used to get items that give players more stats or more abilities. As with leveling up, you can basically do whatever you want here, but there are best practices with each different hero. Those best practices are rooted in accentuating the core strengths of your hero. As we previously noted, heroes typically specialize in doing one specific thing, and building them up to be incredibly powerful in that one specific thing is much better than having a jack of all trades. As an example of this, let's take a look at the hero Lion. Lion is an incredibly strong magic user, with 2 strong disables and a very powerful magical nuke. When you're playing Lion, you're much better served buying items that make those spells more powerful than you are trying to do something like turn him into a tank. This might be a lot to take in, but don't worry, there is a built-in guide feature in Dota 2 that'll give you a general idea on how you should approach each hero. So now that you know the objective of Dota 2 and have a general idea for how heroes work, let's look at how games generally progress. A game of Dota 2 can usually be broken down into 3 parts, being the early game, the mid game, and the late game. The early game usually sees players stay in lanes and stick close to the creep waves in order to gather valuable farm and experience. As things head into the mid game, you'll start seeing a lot more in the ways of players moving between lanes in order to push towers or kill enemy heroes. Once one of the teams is in a position where they can quickly kill the enemy base, you've entered the late game. This will usually see one side look to build its lead to the point to where it's insurmountable, while the other tries to make plays in order to bridge the gap. And if a game goes on for long enough, both teams will end up strong to the point where they can wipe out the enemy base with just one teamfight win. There's actually a lot more to Dota 2 than just this, but we'll leave you for now so you can get some games in. If this video helped you, give us a thumbs up, and if you have any questions or would like to see any other specific guides on Dota 2, feel free to leave a comment. And of course, make sure to subscribe to keep up with all of Win.gg's Dota 2 content.